Hey, this is Angie with the Grabber Canvas Stretching Pliers, and today I'm putting out our first video on the official company YouTube site. And this is a 23-minute video that my dad created about 7 or 8 years ago. It's 23 minutes. We already have a version of it on our website and his personal YouTube channel. And I also want to add as well that he's going to take it's a little bit longer than his other two videos because he takes you through the specs on the grabber, as well as additional tools that he uses when doing the canvas stretches. And then, of course, he gets into how to stretch a canvas and the finishing touches, including the corners, since those tend to be tricky. So at that, I will leave you to it. Again, it's about 23 minutes. I'll have everything timestamped for you so you can conveniently go to whatever section you like in this particular video. Thank you very much for watching, and also hit like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos about our canvas products as well as additional information in the art world in general. Thanks. Have a great day.
Hi, my name is Walt Deane. I'm the inventor of the Canvas Grabber Canvas Stretching Pliers. This one happens to be my latest model. This is the professional grade version of my Canvas Stretching Pliers. And I'm here to show you how to use it to best accomplish a very professional looking gallery wrap, and show you the tools that you'll need, the other tools that you'll need to accomplish that. I want to show you a few things about this tool before I proceed with the rest of this instruction. It all comes down to the grip and the mechanical advantage that you get with a tool like this. The jaw clamping pressure, what you get when you clamp it like that, is fully adjustable with this nut, or excuse me, this bolt, the pressure adjusting bolt. And that pressure can be locked in place with this lock nut here. And these automatically locking jaws, one of the greatest advantages of them is that it sometimes frees one or both hands to apply the staples on the stretch. It's compact, it's light, weighs just a little bit more than a pound. And one of the features that I really like about this new and improved professional grade version is this release lever. It's very ergonomic, it's right there. You don't have to go looking for it like you might with my previous version. Very easy tool to use. The jaws are fitted with a slip resistant material that assures you a good solid grip on the canvas. And finally, this fulcrum is positioned perfectly for the best possible mechanical advantage when you're applying a stretch. In fact, it's so effective that you need to be careful about overstretching and tearing your canvas. That's the only principal concern you might have with using this tool. This tool is constructed of high carbon steel, a very high grade of high carbon steel, and it's manufactured to such standards. It is a precision tool. There's nothing sloppy about it. When you clamp it, you got whatever it's holding on to. And the materials and the quality of construction allows me to offer this tool with an unconditional lifetime guarantee. I don't care who you are or how long you live, this tool is going to be around a lot longer. So anyway, without further ado, let me start by showing you some of the tools you're going to be needing to perform a gallery stretch. First and foremost, the Canvas Grabber, Canvas Stretching Pliers. You're going to need an X-Acto knife, a good sharp one. This is a pneumatic stapler. It happens to be a 1/2 inch crown. I've seen guys and gals use a 7/16 inch crown stapler. They're just as effective. A good sharp pair of scissors, very important. And the last thing you'll need for squaring up your stretcher frame is this handy little tool here. At least I like it. You could use any square, but this one is particularly nice. It's called a clampet, and it's sold by Rockler.com. And what I like about it is when you're assembling your stretcher frame, we're going to be using a Frederick's stretcher frame. What I like about it is it stands tall, and you can slip that in there, you can tuck that in there, you can apply your staples to make sure it stays in place long enough for you to get your stretching project done. So again, Rockler.com, and it's called a clampet. I'm going to take a break here for just a second, and I'll be back with some further instruction. I almost forgot to mention is a good, clean, very soft surface to work on. You're going to be working with the face of your canvas stretching project facing down, and you don't want it to get scratched up or to pick up dirt or any kind of other material that might be on this surface. It needs to be clean and very soft. This happens to be 6 layers of top sheet. Just a simple flat top sheet folded over several times and stapled on the side of the table to hold it in place. Okay, one of the first things you want to do after you get your stretcher frame assembled, again these are Frederick's stretcher frames. They come in a piece. There's actually 4 pieces here, and you need to assemble them, and that's the reason for the square, the clampet square. So anyway, once you get that assembled, the next thing is to, because you're working with this face down, you need to mark the back side as to where you want this frame to go. Now I have determined off camera that this frame can be best positioned with a 3-inch margin over here and a 2.5-inch margin over there. So anyway, something else to remember is that, or a fundamental thing to remember as you set out to do this sort of thing, you're not stretching all 4 sides. What you're doing is you're stretching the width and you're stretching the length. And to do that, you need to secure one of these sides and then pull on the other side using the tool. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to start by stapling this one side. I'm going to tuck it down. I'm making sure that this side lines up with this line and this edge lines up with that line. So, fitting this in here. Lines up perfect. I press down on this so I can tug on this a little bit. And I'm only going to put in a few staples here, and I'll explain why in just a moment. I'm not putting it in or not stapling it all the way across because we have to prepare the corners for wrapping. I'm going to turn this around, and this is where I bring in the tool. About like so. Loosen it up. It's used in kind of the inverted, you might think of it as kind of an inverted position. Make sure that you have a good line over here. Proceed to put a clamp on it. Lay it down. And notice how it's hands-free. I can come in here, I can put 3 staples in. Sometimes it's just 2, but in this case it happens to be 3. Now I've got the length of this project stretched. I'm going to come along and I'm going to put a little tension on this, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to put do the same thing on, or fasten down the side that I'm going to pull against. I'm going to put in one. Okay, now I can pull against that assembled portion over there with the canvas grabber. Going to come in here. And like I say, you can really put, you can almost overstretch. I'm gonna clamp it like that. I'm gonna push it down. And what I want you to watch is this line right here. You see how that stretches like that, and it's hands-free. I'm just gonna put in 2 staples here, and then I'm gonna come along and put in the staples next to it. One of the things you want to make particular note of is you don't want to pull, you don't want this to be too close to the last staple you assembled, or the last staple that you applied. You want to stay about at least an inch away. Pull it down, let it lay. Again, hands free. Staying about an inch away. Lay it down. Okay, so there we have, already you have a pretty good stretch on that. But I'm going to go offline for a moment here, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to prepare the corners. Very important step. And this next step is preparing the corners for wrapping. And I've got a cross section of the stretcher bars we're using. Like I say, these are Fredericks. When you place a cut, I place a diagonal cut like this. It's actually a miter cut, and I use that miter on the frame as kind of a guide as to the direction of that cut. But it is possible to start that cut too close, and if you do that, you're going to expose some of the wood on the front side of this stretcher bar. So what I try to do is I try to stay at least, in this example, I try to stay at least that far away when I start my corner cut. And I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, this is the corner here. We bring in the X-Acto knife, and I place this down here, and I place the leading edge of the X-Acto knife about that distance away. Pull it over, push it down, and I use that as a line when I pull it away. Again, same thing, staying about 1/8 of an inch away, which is the radius of that turn. Push it through, pull it away. Staying about 1/8 of an inch away, push it through, pull it away. Push it through, pull it away. Okay, we're done with the X-Acto knife. Okay, because this is a landscape project, what I usually do is I will wrap, at least the first portion of the wrap will be the top and the bottom margin, and I'll show you why that is a general rule that you want to stick to. So, I'm going to come along here and I'm going to prepare the top and the bottom for the wrap. I'm going to come on and I'm going to place a cut about like so. What I just did is I stayed about a 1/16 of an inch, because this is a small radius. I stayed about a 1/16 of an inch away from the wood. And I'm going to do the other side here. All I'm doing is I'm putting a point on this. Now, what you can do, I'll give that a tug, and I'll pull that down, and I'll take a stapler, just so I don't have to mess with it ever again. And just put a little tug on it. One of these days I'm going to staple my finger. This is something you want to be real careful with. So anyway, This is the first margin that I wrapped. I'm gonna do this by hand. And then I'm going to stretch with the stretching tool over there. So that takes care of that. So to do this other side, you come in here with the tool, and because the fulcrum doesn't cover the full width of the jaws, you can get these jaws into the corner, and you notice how the jaw plate is well past the corner over here. Oops, I forgot something. I've got to cut this off. Again, I'm just putting a point on this first margin that's going to get wrapped. I'm going to do like I did before. I'm going to tug on that a little bit and put a staple in there so it stays put. Something's going to get folded over, so you won't ever see that staple. Tug on that. You'll see that. You'll see why in just a moment. So now I can bring in the stretching tool, and again, being kind of careful not to overstretch it. Bring it in, tuck it up against that corner, staying away from as best you can, laying it down. I love that hands-free operation. Now, because we're going to be wrapping the sides here, I want to get rid of this excess. Again, a nice sharp pair of scissors is a real definite. We're getting a really tight wrap already. Okay, now here comes the fold. Sometimes there's a little bit extra here. I can cut that off. Not much. So anyway, what I do is I take and I fold this over. I kind of tuck it underneath there. I get it looking the way I want. Like so. And then I take a sliver of this edge and I cut it off. It's just a tiny sliver. And what you're doing is you're marking your next cut. You unfold it, and then you use that cut as a target. You come in, you put a point on it, like so. I will sometimes cut off a little excess. You fold it back the way it was. Like that. I'm going to take just a little bit more off of there. And now you're ready to bring in the stretcher. I got a little bit too tight. Get it to lay down. Same thing, fold it over. Get it looking the way you want, like so. I'm going to do this up here where you can maybe see it a little better, but I'm just going to slide my scissors in there and just take a real thin cut of that. Unfold it, put a point on it, like so. Take the point off, fold it back up, and then bring in your stretcher. Okay, this is the way I finish off the back side of my canvases. I come in and I put a miter cut on the canvas, like that. Cut off the excess. Again, a nice sharp pair of scissors. Very nice. Put a staple in the corner, kind of cattywampus there. Tight as a drum. But I'm going to finish it up for you. I'm going to see how fast I can do this. Pull that in there. Bring in, cut off a sliver. Open it up. Take the point off. Fold it over. I'm going to take just a little bit off of this first fold. I'm going to bring the canvas pliers in. Fold it over. Get it looking the way you want. About like so. Cut a sliver off of there to mark your next cut. Unfold it. Put a point on it. Cut the point off. Fold it over. Bring in the pliers. Okay, notice how easy that is to perform that release. It's worth the extra shillings just for that feature. Put in the miter cuts. Cut off the excess, and there you have it. Except one little staple, just not absolutely necessary, but it's kind of insurance to make sure that the canvas lays flat against the wall. And there you have it. Tight as a drum, and that will be that tight for decades to come. And this is, I wanted to add a footnote to something I pointed out earlier, and that is that you want to wrap the top and the bottom first and then the sides. And the reason is because when you look at this from the side, you don't see the folds that you performed. You can only see the folds when you're looking at the top of the stretching project or the bottom of the stretching project. When you look at it from the side, whatever is on the front just continues and wraps around the side there. So there you have it. Real easy to get professional results. Like anything, practice makes perfect, and in time you can do just as good a job as this is. This one's going to go on the wall at the Rockport Gallery. And again, these pliers are called the Canvas Grabber, and this is the professional grade. You'll see another version of this plier out there. Let me grab so you can tell. This one is a little lower cost, and the release lever is designed differently. You have to find it and then you have to tug on it to release it. It's not awkward, but this is a lot easier. It can be done one-handed, whereas this, you got to kind of look for it. This is the original version. This is imported from China. This is made in Europe, actually in Spain, and the craftsmanship is far superior to this. They both have an unconditional lifetime guarantee on it, but I feel nicer about offering that guarantee on a tool like this. This is truly a finely crafted tool. So that's the end of the lesson for today. I'll look for that again. Canvas Grabber Canvas Stretching Pliers. Thanks for watching.